said there would be days like this when Dave and Rob start to show. There is bound to be some good times had by those who remember what Mama said. Mama said is the name of the game, and what Mama says is what Mama gets from the SFP studios. Mama is right and always right. We hold our flags high as we march to the tune of her music, because Mama said is the name of the game. On Monday nights, sure we know what to do and what to say, because we love our mamas, and that's the fact, Jack. Mama said is the name of the game, and what Mama says is what Mama gets from the SFP studios. Mama is right and always right. We hold our flags high as we march to the tune of her music, because Mama said is the name of the game. Mama said is the name of the game, and what Mama says is what Mama gets from the SFP studios. Mama is right and always right. We hold our flags high as we march to the tune of her music, because Mama said is the name of the game.
Hi.
Well, good Monday evening to everybody out there at Southern Pride Podcast Land and all them folks out there at Corporate Nation. I'm Rob. Cash Miss Elizabeth. And over on
And
the other side of her is who?
That's Dave. Sorry, I just
Oh,
walked
we-
in the house and my grands are
Yeah.
still awake. Give me a minute.
Absolutely. We'll see you here in just a little bit.
I'll
I'll
be
drop you
back
down.
in a minute.
Okie doke. Well, good evening to you, Dave. We'll have our mama on here in just a little bit.
Yeah, good evening, folks. Hey, Lewis, how you doing, man? Hey, Barry, all you fine people coming in here on a Monday night. I was watching. We have a new channel called Wimkin, and there's a lady that comes on Killer Carl's program. I think she has Rumble too. Violent Vixen. She was bringing it, showing a lot of stuff out of New York. Give her a follow if you're on Rumble, Violent Vixen, or Wimkin. Really good podcaster. She ain't afraid to bring it. She's been kicked off some multiple platforms, but she tells it like it is. Back from the stove.
Mm.
What'd you get at the stove, man?
You got some little Debbies.
You know, if you go to the store, you feel like you got held up.
Yeah, no doubt.
Go around and see how expensive everything is. You're like, what in the world?
Coffee and some stuff for dinner. Hey, I'm right with you on the coffee. Mm-hmm.
Well, depending on what kind of coffee he got. Pretty
Yeah.
soon he's gonna have to get some Southern fried coffee because it's
Right.
coming.
Mm.
I know y'all keep hearing that, but I promise you, work is getting accomplished. Hey, Broski Bear, I've been working emails back all afternoon, with the team there at the coffee place, and our store is in motion. We fed through our Shopify. They were helping me get some things straightened out. We've got 5 or 6 blends already active. You'll see them soon.
Yes.
You got to have coffee. Well, what kind of coffee did you get? Thank you, Miss Jenna. We're looking forward to it. It's
Yes, we are.
really excited. It's something we talked about before we ever started the podcast, was to have our own coffees, and we're really there. We just got to get all this stuff behind the scenes straightened out, technical, legal, all that. Most of the payment, legalities, all that's done. It's just getting the platform set up. Also talked with our webmaster today to get those links added in for Shopify and our coffee store, and we're got to find out how much it's going to cost us to get our show embedded in the website, working all that. Columbia blend. Well, yeah.
Oh. We got a Peruvian blend that's really good that's coming out too. I think you had some of that, and it was awesome from what you said.
Well, there's a Peruvian. There's a bunch of them. They're all really good. They're going to have our names on them. There's a 6-bean blend. There's one. It's Uncle Jeb's. It's a kick butter, I think. It's called Just How Big a Boy Are You blend. I don't know how tough it is, but it's. I'll just tell you, it comes out of a whiskey aged barrel. So we'll see.
You want to go
Thank you,
outside?
Mr. Jenna, on your comments for Jeb and Bubba Show episode number 3. Appreciate that. We don't have it up yet, Lewis. Give me a couple days, brother. The skeleton of that will be available. They're loaded in. The store is active, but we got our coffee side where the orders come from. They're building our store there. So it's kind of like we have 2 stores, which we really have 3 or 4. Shopify is a store, but the orders will feed through Shopify from the coffee store. So we'll make it all clear as mud. No, it'll be clearer than mud. And she's back.
Hey, sorry.
She's on the back porch.
I'm on the back porch.
I'm not used to the glasses look. That's a good look. I like the glasses on there.
Oh, thank you.
You kind of have that look like a teacher with those on.
Well, the sad thing is I have to have them to see far away, but up close with the camera, I can't see. So I have to take them off.
At my age with progressive lenses, I'm constantly taking my glasses on and off.
Yeah.
People say, can't you, not creamer, not yet.
No. But we do have flavored coffees coming out.
You need to make your own creamer. It's better for you.
Your own creamer.
They will be at some point in the future. There'll be 40 blends. We're going to have enough for all 40 they offer. But
all right, now
kicking off about 8. Kicking off.
Well, now Rob said they have tea.
They do. They do have a tea. We'll get that offered as well. One of the signature blends is the Mama Said. The logo is already loaded up. It is on the packaging. It is ready to roll. It's just waiting on an order.
Is that the tea?
Not the tea. That's the coffee, but I can get the tea ready.
Okay.
But we have the Morning Patriot blend. We have the Mama Said. We've got Rob's Caramel. There's one for Uncle Jeb. It's called Just How Big a Boy Are You? I wasn't kidding about that. I'm looking forward to that. That's part of his kind of theme now. And Rob needs to listen to Jeb and Bubba Show because Rob is mentioned in there before Jeb gets kicked out of the Comedy Barn. we've got another one up, and then there's two more. I know I have five for sure, but there'll be three more go up soon. I'm already getting requests for the racing and the sports show, and we'll get all that up. And we got to get the shirt size. I did find that on certain sizes, Rob, I can't expand the sizes for the t-shirts in the store. Some things you can't. Try to help my brother out. He needs a 3X, but we're going to work that out. I just got to get in there, add that size in to which one it offers it. So, and put the racing logo on that one because he wants the racing for he's going to advertise for us at the Bristol Braves game. I got to get that done this week.
There we go.
He wants the Southern Fried racing shirt to walk around with while he's there.
Good evening, Dog Tag.
Hello, Dog Tag. I was communicating with him earlier, and sound like he's doing well.
Good.
So, listen, I have something I want to talk about if y'all got a minute.
Always for you.
So, and y'all may have talked about this. I don't know, because I don't get to watch every show. Have y'all talked about the Supreme Court ruling on the no citizenship thing, which it's not really no citizenship or not automatic citizenship for if you're not, let's see, how is it worded? Well, let me start over. My niece put a post up today, or it was 2 days ago or something, that if you are born now in the United States, you don't get automatic citizenship. And that's what the Supreme Court voted on.
Yeah, that's the birthright citizenship. Thank you, Anthony Ambroski, for putting that in there. I have talked about it on one of my shows in politics, but this was a president's big agenda to stop that. It's been a problem in Canada and America for some time. In Canada, I know for a fact they had people flying in within 24 hours of giving birth just so they could do that.
Okay, so I did a lot of research today because here is how it is. It is like my daughter, if she went and had a child today, it would be a citizen because she is a citizen of the United States. Okay? It would already have citizenship. But if you are here illegally or you do not have citizenship in the United States, your child would not have citizenship of the United States.
Yeah.
That is what that bill is, or that's what the Supreme Court was voting on. And it is not saying that if you are a citizen of the United States, that your child would not have citizenship. That is not what it's saying. And a lot of the leftists, that's what they're spouting.
Well, it's what they've been told to believe.
It is. It is. And it's frustrating because, as my niece was spouting today, she's a Democrat. Because, well, first of all, she's in the LGBTQ ABCYDEFG community. And she also, thinks Trump is a racist and that he's a white nationalist and all of that.
Yeah.
He's not. He is looking out for the United States. And he wants to put the United States first. And it is so sad that people with closed minds can't see that. You know, I really try to lay off the politics and have more fun on here, but it just gets my goat that people are so stupid and closed-minded that they can't see this stuff and that they don't want to see it, and that all they want to see is the rhetoric that the leftist side wants to preach and wants to shove down their throat, and they don't want to see what's really happening. They would
Right.
rather let in all of these terrorists and the rapists and the gang members and the murderers from other countries into our country, whether
Yeah.
and let them kill people. I was so proud of Marjorie Taylor Greene the other day for standing her ground with the mayor of New York City and holding that woman accountable for her being a sanctuary city, and then holding her accountable also for sending a murderer to the state of Georgia, to Athens, which is a sanctuary city, and shame on them. Shame, shame, shame on Athens for being a sanctuary city. They should never be doing that. And the governor of Georgia should be ashamed for allowing them to for doing that.
Amen.
Because not only did she send, provided taxpayer money, provided a flight to Athens, Georgia from New York City with taxpayer money for a murderer to kill a student in Georgia, a little girl.
Absolutely. And that
And they
is
should all be in they should all be in jail. The mayor of New York City, the governor of or the governor of, it may be the governor of, whoever they are, but they should all be in jail.
they're
Because
allowed.
because now then that family of that little girl will never be able to see her again.
Never.
But what do the leftists say about that? They don't say nothing.
No, they don't want people to think about that. They don't want to put that out there. That might encourage people to actually think about what they're telling them instead of actually forming an opinion for themselves. But you're absolutely right. You are right, and it's ridiculous.
I think every state and every state that has a sanctuary city needs they need a replacement mayor, governor, whoever it is.
Yeah.
It should be automatic because anybody that provides sanctuary for these illegal immigrants needs to be booed.
Absolutely. Now, Anthony, I'm going to put this up because I don't want anybody to ever think that we don't try to get both sides here. Well, let's put your first one up there first. I want to do that one. He's talking about the birthright citizenship. So this complete BS. You're hurting kids that are born here because your parents aren't Elizabeth, Rob, and Dave. But their parents
I am.
Yeah.
But you're hurting kids who are born here because your parents aren't
Elizabeth, Rob, and Dave. But they're not citizens. The people that are coming here to have children, they're not citizens of this country.
Mm-mm.
They're not.
No, they're not.
We're talking about if they're citizens of this country, if they're children of Anthony Manzano, citizen in the country, then they're citizens.
Then they already have automatic citizenship.
Yeah. But if you're not from this country, you don't. Now, if you want to become a citizen, that option is still available to you.
Yes.
All right. And that is our opinion, Anthony. Anthony also said that, but this is hurting the industries that rely on these people because let's be honest, Americans who are born here are not going to be working on farms and in construction. I'm going to beg to differ with you on that one very strongly. Here in South Georgia, we have a lot of farmers. We are mainly an agrarian society here. Okay, don't think these guys ain't working on them farms. They
Mm-hmm.
are. They are. And in
And
construction, there's a lot of Americans in construction right now. So you know, you're making some sweeping statements here that from where I'm at aren't true. I'm not, or misleading. Let me put it that way.
and
You
Anthony,
know,
where I live where carpet mills are at, and the people that are here where I'm at, all of them are legal. All the Hispanics are legal. Everybody's legal, and yes, they do work in the carpet industry here, but so do the white people and
mhm.
the black people. They all work hard in these carpet mills and these carpet industries. And the carpet industries know you don't hire the ones that are not illegal because they will get fined heavily. So if
Uh,
you're not legal, you don't work here.
Anthony says, I'm not an anchor baby person. I'm asking this from the point of view. I'm a Democrat who's in the middle. You know, to me, the middle ground on this has always been there. I mean, you have these people that come to this, want to come to this country, have legal paths that they can take.
Hmm.
There are legal ways to do it. Why are we rewarding people and supporting them that are coming to the country illegally? What a slap in the face to the people that come here legally and
Yeah.
do everything right like they're supposed to do. Instead of sneaking in across a river or under a tunnel or being sold into whatever white slavery or whatever, trafficking drugs, whatever, being mules. What I mean, come on, let's. There's a right way to do it. Everybody confuses us conservatives with being, oh, y'all are anti-immigration. We're not anti-immigration.
Mm-mm.
We want them to do it the right way.
Yes. We just want because you forget about when Obama, people forget about when Obama was in office. He was heavy on people being deported that were here illegally. People forget that. He deported like 5 million people that were here illegally.
Yep.
People forget that. There are videos of him saying, "You are welcome in our country, but you are going to come legally."
Yeah.
And
And
the Democrats don't want people to remember that because they don't want them to go back that far and see that he was saying that. So it's not that I don't want people coming to our country. I welcome people coming to our country legally. When I was a teacher, I had students and families that were going through the correct way of doing it. And they would tell me, Miss Johnson, we've got to go back to New York because we have to meet with our immigration lawyer. And we are still going through the system. And so we've been here a year now. We have to go back and talk to our immigration lawyer because we have to show proof where we're working, where we're living, and all of that. They're doing it the right way. There's right ways. And that's what I fight for is these right ways for these people to do it.
and Anthony, I'm gonna throw this out there. They say that they've been doing it for their whole lives. The average wait time to become a U.S. citizen is about 6 months. So unless they're only 6 months old, I don't believe they've been doing it for a lifetime, or they're not trying to do it the right way.
Mhm.
Uh, about 6 months, and if you're going through that process, you still have avenues such as green card stuff like that, so you can still be here legally. Now you have to live in the USA for at least 5 years, and there's some exceptions. So you have to live here for 5 years. You have to pay taxes. and it's about 6 months to get it done. So I mean, I think the people on either side of the debate for immigration don't understand that our government has overthrown the government from the country these people have come from and not fixed it. Is our immigration system perfect? No, it's
Mm-mm.
not. It's not. So
No, but you can't go to other countries. Like I couldn't go to another country. I couldn't just go to China and say, "Hey, I'm immigrating. I'm coming here and I'm just going to start living. And I'm not going to go through y'all's immigration process." China would say, "You're crazy. Go back home." I couldn't do that. I could not go to another country and do that. I couldn't sneak into another country and do that. No other country would allow me to do that, allow you to do that, allow anybody to do that. And so, even Mexico wouldn't allow us to do that. They're not going to allow us to sneak into their country
you know,
and say, "Oh, we're going to start living here now." That's the thing, though, Anthony. No other country's going to allow other people to come into their country and just start living.
and Broski, uh, a lot of people hear on the news from like legacy media, and I don't think lying is it. I think misinformation runs rampant.
Mm-hmm.
So let's kind of tone that down a little. It's just misinformation. You know, there a lot of people get told what to think by opinion pieces on these quote unquote news channels, and it's opinion. It's not actual news. It's what they think,
Mm-hmm.
and they by telling you what they think, everybody takes it as gospel, and they stop right there. Because let's face it, we're all lazy. We would rather just have somebody tell us what to think, get out there and think and figure stuff out for ourselves, which we do. uh,
You have to you have to
no, sir.
dig and you have to you have to go through several different sources. I've learned that. That's why I don't have a TV in my house. I don't watch the news anymore because they're going to lie to you. You have to dig and you have to see what's going on. And you have to use multiple sources.
And it doesn't take 20 years, sir. Uh, you can look up on, just do a search on it. Uh, how long does it take to become a U.S. citizen? I mean, your first step is to get a green card. You got to be a citizen, live here, physically present, you know, for 5 years, at least 30 months to that 5 years, you got to be in the country. It so it's 5 years. Uh, you have to submit your paperwork and biometric processing. That takes 1 to 3 months. Uh, but review, it has to be reviewed. You have to take a civics test. You have to have a citizenship interview. And that review can take anywhere from 1 to 3 months. Receive the decision, and take the oath of allegiance. That's 1 to 3 months. So, I mean, if you're married to somebody here, it's 3 years. If you're married to a U.S. citizen, you may qualify after 3 years. There's other stuff that has to be met. Terms, there's steps to it. But dude, it's not a 20+ year process.
Mm-mm.
It is not. It's not a quick process because we want to make sure there are people that actually want to be here.
Yeah. That's why I think it's easier on people that have that immigration lawyer that help you get through all of this process. Yeah, it's going to cost a little bit of money up front for those 5 years, but they help you get through that process, and it's a lot smoother.
So, you know, So there's still ways to do it legally that don't take 20 years, 20 plus years. Okay. So we're not gonna. I'm not gonna lend much credence to that because the average wait time is 5 years that you
Yeah.
have to be here 30 months. So I mean, but that's where misinformation comes in. It's real easy to drink Kool-Aid, as we call it around here.
Mm-hmm.
Don't drink it. You know, look up your information and go for it. You know, the truth will set you free. Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
So look, I think I got me a tricycle. Has a
Did you
great
get
big
your
basket.
tricycle?
I didn't get it yet, but I think I might have found me one.
Oh,
Has those big fat tires on it, you know. Has a basket on the back. I can
yeah.
ride to my house and my daughter's house.
Oh, dear Lord. All right, what's the closest hospital to you?
Probably Cleveland.
All right, keep their number on standby on your phone. They'll probably have to airlift you.
No, they wouldn't. It's just tricycle. It's got 3 wheels and it's the fat tires, man. It's the fat ones.
Oh,
Look.
yeah. Yeah, you'll be out there popping wheelies,
Mm-mm.
flipping that thing over. Hey, look at your name you got up there.
Listen, and it is not a electric one either. It's a regular bicycle.
Oh, Lord. You're
Well,
going to
you know,
thirst that down.
it was that electric bicycle that made it so heavy.
You know, well, you darn sure going to have their number in there now. You're going to be
No.
having a stroke out there pedaling that thing. It's downhill one way and uphill the other, ain't it?
Yes.
You're going to be pushing that damn thing back up the hill.
Well, I might for a little while, but then I gotta, I build up my leg muscles.
You pushed it up the hill.
It's just a small hill, but I need the exercise.
Yeah, that's fine. You're going to get plenty of it going downhill. You'll get plenty of exercise pushing it back up the hill, too.
So, start with putting the older one in the back in the basket.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
What brand? She doesn't have it yet, but she's looking into it.
Oh no, it's not gonna be an electric bike. Mm-mm.
Hey,
Okay.
quit your rowing in there.
So do we have any other topics? We need to get off this one because I don't want to start no.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we do have another topic.
Oh, what?
I want to talk about you and Michael being cousins.
We don't know if we're cousins. Is Michael on here tonight?
Yeah, I think he was. He was. Said hi, I think. I'm not picking on Chuck. I'm telling him to hush up.
We don't know if we're cousins. So the other night, it was last Wednesday, you were on here, and so Dave invited me on, and I came on. So we were talking about genealogy,
Right.
and Dave was telling us about some of his genealogy. Stop it. And then Michael said something about his family names, and Collins was one of his names. I said, "Oh, my mama was a Collins." And I said my grandmother's name, and I said was Prudy Collins. And he started saying places where his family was from. I said, well, I remember my mama saying that she had family up in Blairsville, Tennessee. And that's just how it got started.
Yeah, and Dave, how did it come out? And they're both short, and they both have big feet, and isn't that what you were saying?
That was a whole totally different story.
Y'all might be kissing cousins. You never know.
That was a whole totally different story. The feet thing started from you the other night.
I don't blame that. Don't put y'all's big
And
hobbit feet off on
talking,
me.
we were talking, about feet. And Dave said that he didn't like feet because feet were ugly. And I said, no, I got cute feet. I said, I do have big feet. I said, I wear a size 10. And I said, but I have cute feet. And I said, I don't think my feet are ugly.
Yeah, you hear that, Dave?
See?
Hey, Dave, look here. You see that? That's not an ugly foot. Put it back on there. See, Dave? Not an ugly foot.
I don't know. Did you see it?
I did.
So, see, I don't have ugly feet.
She didn't even have no scabies or nothing on her feet.
No. And so that's how that got started.
Oh.
And then I don't know what come about. I never said. I don't know how short come in it. How it came in.
Michael says, just branch in for now. Who came off the higher branch? That's what I'm wondering.
So, yeah, we don't know if we're cousins or not.
You just said Friday night was a big feet thing again. It was bad that I was barefooted and cooking.
Oh, law.
And Dennis says Short came in Friday night.
Oh.
I don't know. I just know what I was
I'm
hearing.
just 5'2".
5'2"?
Yeah.
That's not too short.
I'm 5'2" and a little chunky.
And he says, it's your house, Rob. You should be allowed to cook barefooted unless you drop oil on your feet.
Ooh.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
Mm-mm.
There's a song. I got to remember something about cooking bacon. What was it? Loving you's like frying bacon naked.
I remember that song. Mm-hmm.
Won't be no naked cooking around my house, okay? I'm going to draw a line.
I need an apron.
Huh?
You need an apron. You could still cook. You could still cook naked, but you just need an apron on.
That would be too much like wearing chaps.
No. Just need an apron.
Just need an apron.
One of those full ones. You just put around your neck, and covers your chest, and you jump.
Well, that'd be almost like a hospital gown, wouldn't it? That'd be about the same purpose, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But at least you'll be cool. Dave, what you doing?
Just staying busy.
He's put some comments up here.
Just talking. You just hadn't heard my. I just want to back up. I want to make a couple comments on the first topic.
Okay.
It's a very complicated issue. It's not. There is no one way for each side. I'll just say that. But, and I don't want to go back through the whole thing. I just wanted to say that Americans will do those jobs. But the problem we have is that these shady, scummy, no good for nothing business owners are hiring them and paying them crap wages.
Mm-hmm.
And Americans are not going to work for that. They will because they're illegal. And Rob, I love you. And I know that I think I don't know the number on it, but in South Georgia, there has been problems with some farmers hiring illegals. And actually, they were two big farmers down there. They were holding hostage some Hispanics. They took all their work visas and stuff, and there's only 2 investigators for the whole state. Somebody complained finally. I don't know what side of the state it's on, but man, they got in a lot of trouble, which they should have.
Yeah.
They were holding these people hostages, and basically they were working for nothing.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's not the majority of them, but there's some. But it's construction. It's all these people. They say in Atlanta that they find dead bodies, of illegals all the time. They get hurt. They just dump them out somewhere. We got a problem in this country. We really do. But there's some scummy people. I have no sympathy for these people that hire these people and pay them not even a living wage. And then they cry because their business gets shut down because we've come and ICE has raided them. They're sorry. They're no good. Yeah, it's going to make costs go up, but you got to pay a workman. A workman is worthy of his hire. And those are hard jobs. They're not easy.
Mm-mm.
It makes me sick to know that we do people like that. It's just sad. It's estimated there's 10 to 15 million illegals in the country. I think you fix the birthright citizenship. Right now, really what they're getting out is all the criminals.
Mm-hmm.
So every American should be celebrating that the criminals are getting put out, which is crazy. They're averaging 666 a day. I don't know where they got that number. You think they'd add one more to the mix every day and not have the mark of the beast number, but that's their reporting it, not me. I just heard that, but let's get these people out of here. Then I think what will happen is, my opinion is, there'll be a path to citizenship for those that report. They'll have a way from report. They will probably have a penalty they will have to pay because they've gotten away from paying their fair share into the system, and they will be put on a path to citizenship, which has been talked about, honestly, by both parties for 20 years. I don't think you're going to deport 10 million people. I don't think that's going to happen. But we got to fix the issue so it doesn't keep getting worse. But
yeah, and trust me, they're shady people from the top of this country to the bottom of this country.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to defend a single one of them that are taking advantage of people.
I just don't want to make it sound like I'm dogging South Georgia farmers, because I'm not. But it did happen. I mean, you can look it up. I hope they went to jail.
Yeah, me too. But you know what? You know how we fix that? We open up this path to citizenship, so they don't have to continue being here illegally.
A lot of those that were coming in weren't trying to be citizens anyway at the time. It's just work visas. You know, they're here on a work visa. If they become a citizen later, every country has some sort of a worker program where you can come in and work. Most of the construction that's done in Israel is done by foreigners. Thailand, I mean, they come from all over. But also, I will say the safety records for these companies are bad all over the world. I did a paper on it in college once. It's atrocious what's going on. But anyway, I just want to hit that one point that we got to fix that. I applaud the president for that. We need to get that fixed. And secondly, I didn't say I didn't like feet because they were all ugly. What I said was, and there are many feet that are ugly, many. Your feet are fine. Rob's is ugly. I mean, look at his toes. He showed his toes. I want you to look at the toes on his big toes. But what I said was his feet are nasty. Nasty.
My feet are nasty.
Nasty.
My feet are nasty.
I'm not going down the foot road again, but they got things growing out of them, and they stink, and they just rot. They're just bad, man. They just nasty. And for the record, I don't care if anybody's in their kitchen cooking with bare feet. I was just having fun. What I would say is what I said is, if you go to a restaurant and the cook walks out and he's barefoot, they ain't nobody gonna go with that. They're not gonna be happy with it.
If he's barefoot or not.
That's disgusting.
But what you said the other night was, if he was back there barefooted and scratching his butt. I was well, yeah. If he's
I wasn't
scratching his
on the
butt, I
anything.
ain't doing that. Barefoot, I don't care.
Yeah, Broski,
Uh,
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just telling you what I think will happen. I don't think that we're going to, even President Trump, I don't think is going to get 10 million people out here.
and I'm gonna say this, Broski. Uh, if we're not going to deport, there's no way this country's going to deport 10 to 15 million people. All right, there's no way. So either they stay here illegally, or we open a path to citizenship. That's the only two options that are really viable there. So make them open up that path to citizenship to them. But make them do everything that people come here legally have to do. And as far as giving them $15,000 EBT and free housing and health care, no, they have paid zero taxes if they're here illegally. They haven't paid anything into that system. And they're talking about it running out. But you got 10 or 15 million people in this country illegally that are feeding off of it, then yeah, it's going to run out. So these people need to do their part. They need to pay taxes. They're already here. They've been here forever. We know that. But they need to become citizens. They need to start paying taxes. They need to pay their part. And that's the only way. They've not been doing it, but they need to. And you need to have some type of penalty. Hey, you've been here for 15 years, hadn't even made an effort at this, living off of us. Come on, you some back. So, just my thoughts. Yeah, 10 million plus. So, just saying.
We do have a topic tonight. I was just waiting for everything to calm down, and it is actually we got topics for about the next 3 weeks, and they're going to deal with a lot of different issues.
Ooh.
But this one is it's kind of a two-parter. One is, do you have in-laws or outlaws? And if they're outlaws, how do you deal with your in-laws? Because
I'm the outlaw part of that equation. Okay?
I know everybody don't have the best in-laws. If you're scared, say it. But I'm talking to people in chat, to say. But
yeah.
They might not want to be seen saying anything about in-laws or outlaws. But so, how do you deal with, and I'll make it more specific. If you're marrying the daughter, how do you get along with dad? If you're the guy or the girl, that's the dad. But if it's a boy, that female has, and mama sometimes I don't do good. So how do you navigate that at family get-togethers?
You will go first. You will beat too.
Look, I had a wonderful mother-in-law. I can't say nothing. She was fabulous. Still is fabulous. I have a granddaughter crying. I'll be back.
Got to take care of them crying granddaughters. I had a granddaughter in here whining, not crying, but whining.
Well, I'm almost afraid to answer mine till she gets back. But I've always been more on the outlaw side of that. I really could.
Are you the outlaw?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely the outlaw. I don't. They follow a different denomination than I do. My thoughts on the organization that they choose to worship with is not very high. But that's their freedom and their right to worship as they see fit, and I would never step on that. Does that make sense? But at the same point in time, they had no qualms with stepping on what I thought believed. So that made it very, very difficult for me. A lot of tongue biting, a lot of lip chewing, a lot of so
Dog Tags has moved to another country
to get away from the immigrants.
in-laws.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, it depends on if they're in-laws or outlaws. That could very well be too. I mean, absolutely, and that's kind of been catching on, sir, catching on. My family always appreciates me coming in for the holidays, but seem to. The others don't, but that's okay. Uh, yeah. See, if they want to control everything, they're more of an outlaw to me, not an in-law. That kind of shifts the dynamic there.
I've heard people, ladies say that their mother-in-law couldn't stand them, and they'd have a family get together. They would, when they set their dish down that they made for the family dinner, the mother-in-law would come along and pick it up and move it to the very end, like not let it be central on the table. That's pretty cold. That's pretty cold. I had like a second mom. My mother-in-law was great. Dad was off the scene. I didn't have that problem, but I know many, many, many people who struggle in this area. Hack the AT.
Right.
What if they say, hey, we'll go with you?
Oh, Lord. Then you couldn't even get away from them there. Oh, and then they'd be like, I'll make sure you do it right. What is the worst punishment you've ever given your in-laws?
I haven't, but I know people who won't let them see the kids.
Well, I can speak pretty openly on this one. The worst punishment I've ever given my in-laws was I divorced her, gave her back. And there's not many worse things you can do. I didn't want to go that route, but I wasn't left with a whole lot of but dog tag. I thought somebody might appreciate that.
Broski. Big divide in my family. Yeah, that's tough, man. That's tough. Yep.
No, you did that too. Nope. She'll be back here in a minute, probably. You know, I try to respect everybody's religious beliefs. I really do, or lack thereof. It's America. They can believe what they want to believe. Um, they can worship how they see fit. This is America. It's one of our rights as American citizens. And I try to respect other people's rights there, but I also expect my rights to be respected as well. Does that make sense? Uh, Dave, does that seem kind of in line with what you think, or
Say that again.
I respect everybody's right to worship how they see fit. This is America. It's one of our rights. We have freedom of religion. Uh, but at the same point in time, I respect my rights in that to be respected as well. To worship how I see fit.
We have freedom of to worship or not to worship in this country, and absolutely, but the country is founded on Judeo-Christian values and foundations, and they're hypocritical because they say schools can't, supposedly promote any kind of religion. Our own government quotes scripture and has images and everything else. How hypocritical that, because they don't want to address that, but they want to tell you can't. This is a Christian nation. You're free to worship whatever you want or not worship anything. But it is not to be twisted into something it is not. It's a Christian nation.
Anthony, I'm going to throw this out there. Let's take Christmas as an example, okay? Christmas is a Christian holiday. I know there's stuff in there everybody points at, well, this is pagan, and that's this, and that's that. At the heart of it, though, we're celebrating the birth of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. If y'all want to have a thing where you go around and say happy holidays, go do it. Make your own. You can have one. Do it. But for us, the gift giving and stuff is representative of the gift that Christ gave us through his sacrifice. That is our thing. Okay. I had an in-law, I'm gonna call her an outlaw, that I would say Merry Christmas to her every year. And she'd look at me and she'd go, well, what if you don't want to say Merry Christmas? I said, then say what you want to say. She said, Happy Holiday. I said, okay, go have a holiday, but Merry Christmas. And I never told her Happy Holidays. Oh, it just irked her, and I don't care. It's what I believe. If that offends somebody, then it offends them. But don't try to shovel your belief down my throat and expect me to respect what you believe if you're not going to have the same common courtesy to me. I got just as much right to what I believe as what you believe. Make me bob my head. Had me turn into a bobblehead. Let's see here.
There's so many blended families nowadays. A lot of families they have two they'll have two celebrations or even three to bring everybody on board, and they'll do that.
Yeah. I'm not doing it. I'm going to have one.
But you're not a blended family.
No. Well, you got me and the cat.
They would. I'm talking about people that come together. They've met. Maybe as Christians, they shouldn't have gotten married, but people are doing it. So
yeah,
they're of a different faith. They're of a different faith. They go to one family and celebrate one way, and go to the other family and celebrate the other way, and have peace. But they decide in their own home how they're going to worship, or not worship or whatever.
Yeah. No.
Well, and that's why people say don't talk about certain things when you have those get-togethers, because if you could have a nice, open discussion about it, it's one thing. But the problem is somebody's going to get mad, and it turns into a big fight. So it's best just treat each other with respect. Don't talk about. There's so many other things to talk about, honestly.
Yeah.
There's lots of ways to avoid that.
Yeah. Talk about feet.
Talk about where the kids are, where they're at in their schooling or vacations you've been on or sports, just having fun. And you don't have to. I've been in some situations I was a little uncomfortable, but if it's their home, they get that's their home. I get a wide berth as long as they're not trying to force me into anything. That's their home.
Anthony says, Robert, people also have been saying the Christmas holiday in general has become way too materialistic. People care more for the gifts than actually spending time with our families. Do you agree? Yes, I do. Is it nice to give gifts to somebody? I don't care if anybody gives me anything for Christmas. I know what I want. If I want it, I'll generally go get it. But, as far as gift giving and stuff like that, I would much rather give than receive. But then again, I'm on a budget, so I have to be careful on what I do, But to me, it's more about getting the families together and stuff like that. You don't have to talk about stuff to cause a rift. You can talk about anything. You don't have to do that. So, and a lot of times, if you hear people talking about the rifts and stuff, I want to comment on that. A lot of these leftist organizations, news and opinion stuff, they'll tell you they'll do big things out. Well, just don't go. If they voted for somebody you don't agree with, then you don't even have to go talk to them. Don't go. Just don't go. You don't have to. That's just another form of division and causing divisiveness. That's all that is. And it's very selfish on their part, very egotistical and egocentric, and they need to knock it off.
There's also another part of this. If you, I'm not saying it's right to do, but if you're an instigator and you're sort of disinterested, you don't really have a hard opinion either way, you could also sort of throw a couple of curveballs out there and watch the family go at it while you sit back and eat the leftovers and go, entertainment. I won't say that I haven't been a part of that before. In my youth, I absolutely throwed something out there, and after the war ended, somebody remembered back and said, "David Cordell, you started that." I'm like, really?
Y'all, I'm going to share something with y'all. My mother, God rest her, and I loved her. She was a Democrat. Her husband, my stepdad, Dean, he's a Democrat. And I got down there on Christmas one year. And I love them both. I love my mama and I love Dean as my stepdad to death. I love him. He is who he is and he believes what he believes and I respect what he believes. Does he respect what I believe? No. But that's okay. It doesn't matter. But I've had so much fun and started so much crap and just sit back and watch the fireworks and see his face get all red and see like little snot bubbles come out of his nose when he got really fired up, or mom's, when they got really fired up. And I'm like, I win. It is fun and it is interesting. It does liven things up.
You have a little fun, It is what it is.
Broski, I've this topic here. I moved to the South. I know there's a ton of anti-Catholic sentiment. Baptists and Protestants talk junk on Catholics a lot. They go out of their way to keep mentioning. I do not agree with what Catholics think or what they believe. I don't follow that. I'm a Baptist. But that, you have to work out your own salvation with fear, consequences if you're wrong. I mean, you got to put some thought into it, do some research. But that's for each man to work out. And it's your decision how you're going to worship, not mine. So
Hey, we need to take a quick break. We're about halfway through. Right as Miss Elizabeth comes back, we're going to refill our coffee cups. I am sending an invite to Dog Tag. He's going to come up and give us a report. And this break is brought to you by Patriot Mobile. Use that promo code Cornbread. Make the switch today. I'm fixing to switch a couple more phones over. And it's also, we're going to hear, because I still have it in here, we're going to hear from Uncle Jeb about his trip to the Comedy Barn. Rob might be mentioned in this, just might. We'll be right back. Dog Tag, I've sent that invite. We'd love to hear about the AT. Let's see what Uncle Jeb has to say.
Hey, Uncle Jeb here for the Southern Fried Podcast. And yes, that Jeb and Bubba show. Jeb and Bubba. Well, you know, we told you that we went to the Comedy Barn. You know, Bubba, he wanted to go to the Comedy Barn. We talked about that. Well, we went to the old Comedy Barn, you know, and I went in there and, I got us some popcorn and some drinks. You know, they're kind of high. You know, I'm kind of a thrifty kind of guy. But you know what? I wanted to see Bubba have a good time, you know, because he kind of cries about stuff, you know, if you don't spend enough money. I mean, he starts whining, you know. So I said, well, let's have a good time. We'll get some popcorn and candy and drinks and stuff, you know. And, you know, they're pretty funny old fellas in there. I mean, you know, they kind of got it laughing and, you know, they call people up. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. And, and they got them dogs. You know, I'm going to let Georgia Bubba talk about them dogs. You know, there goes my hat again. Hold on. I'm back. You know, that hat, I don't have as much hair up there anymore, and my hat gets to falling and everything. You know, I'm getting to be kind of an old man. Don't tell anybody I said that. But, you know, we went there to that Comedy Barn. Well, my hat's not straight. Hold on. That's a lot better, you know. I got to look good, you know. Rob says he's the clickbait. No, it's Uncle Jeb. Well, anyway, we went to that Comedy Barn, if you've ever been there. I mean, it was kind of funny, you know, and you know, I laughed a little bit, you know. Well, then they had an intermission and things, you know, started coming back after intermission. Let me tell you, you know, they try to get you to buy that video and, you know, all that, you know. Well, you know, Bubba, he wanted to buy that thing like $25 or something. I don't know. I said, we ain't never going to get out of here. I'm going to spend $100 in here. And I didn't even count the tickets, you know, but you got to spend it, I guess, on these little fellers. You know, to me, I just sit in the truck and take my little nip. Well, you know, we sat there and we had a good time. Well, after intermission, wouldn't you know it, we didn't even know he was in there. Rob was in there. How did he even know he was going to Pigeon Forge? And then how did he know that we were going to be at the Comedy Barn? He didn't. I mean, it was just a fluke. We keep running into this guy wherever we go. You know, he's in a Comedy Barn, and we got in there, and you know, they call people out of the audience. You know, well, wouldn't you know it, they called him up. I said, oh, this is great. I'm over there at Goose and Bubba. I said, check this action out. We got Rob at the Comedy Barn. What's funny about him, you know? Well, let me tell you, it got hilarious. You know what? You know, he's kind of chunky. I talked about his pants falling down. Well, while he was going down there, you know, part of his, I don't know how to say it nicely, a little bit of his rear end was showing, you know. I mean, he looked like one of those guys that wears his pants down around, you know. We won't talk about that. But, you know, everybody's laughing, and Rob's, he thinks they're laughing at him because he's dancing and acting kind of goofy, like, yeah, let's get with it. Well, they were laughing because part of his butt was showing, you know. I don't know if it's okay to say butt, but better than that other word, you know. But, hey, he was showing his butt. Me and Georgia Bubba back there, I mean, we're just dying. You know, we're having a ball. I even throw some popcorn up that way, and I got in trouble. You know what? They sent somebody out there and said if I didn't stop throwing popcorn, they're going to have to ask me to leave. And it made me mad. I said, I was just throwing them at my friend, you know. He's down there showing his butt. They said, well, we think you're showing yours. I said, hey, what are you talking about showing mine? He said, well, if you don't act right, we're going to have to ask you to leave. I said, who's doing the asking? He said, the manager. I said, well, you just go up back there and ask that manager, just how big a boy are you? Well, he did. And he come on back down there, and there was 3 of them. And let me tell you, they were big enough, and they throwed us out of the Comedy Barn. Oh, my goodness. I got to have that video now just to see what Rob did. I didn't even get to see it. Georgia Bubba got to stay. You know, he shriveled up and sunk under the seat. He wouldn't stand up with me. I'm going to get him, too. He'll be up here in a minute telling his part of this story. Well, you know what? They throw me out. I just sit in the truck, my little nip, And but I'm mad. I want to tell you, I wish I just went to that Hatfield McCoy's anyway. Get you some of that, boys.
And we're back.
You know, that popcorn, the reason why they throwed him out, that popcorn that he threw went right down the crack of my backside. You know, and they got mad because I handed it back to him and he thought it was caramel popcorn.
Actually, you have to hear Georgia Bubba's part of this. Uncle Jeb wasn't a little bit untruthful. So
That's just nasty.
He calls him out. Yeah, that's disgusting.
I'm sorry. At least I didn't.
But
Don't go there.
But funny nonetheless. Dog tag.
There he is.
How are y'all tonight? How's everybody there?
Good.
We're all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. 2 weeks healing, and we are up in Pennsylvania. So,
Right.
so we're at like mile marker 1246, I think, today. So
Wow.
family's still moving, the dog tags are still moving, and I'm healing.
There you go. Hey, I'm not trying to be rude. I had to sit in here and watch that so I could see what Uncle Jeb was saying about me. But I didn't get a chance to go fill up my coffee cup. Y'all give me just a couple minutes here. One day. I'll be right back.
So Dave, did you get to watch my video about hike naked on the AT?
I haven't yet, but I will. I just haven't yet.
It's up on the YouTube now. I posted it on Facebook, but I also posted it on the YouTube channel. It was pretty funny.
I do want to see it. I was just been really busy trying to get some of the business part of the podcast taken care of. So I've been really locked in with dealing with different companies and stuff. And so I didn't, there's a couple of shows I didn't even do at the end of the week because I was busy with that. Just some other things we're trying to create and stuff. So but I will. I promise you I will. This week I hopefully have a little more time.
Well, I put it up there just so that you'd have a nice laugh, you know?
I need it. I need a laugh. I do. Well, tomorrow's when I need that laugh. So I'm going to save it for tomorrow.
Well, just make sure you're not drinking no coffee when you watch it.
No,
so
it may be a tough day. So I'm going to need a good laugh by the end of the day tomorrow.
There you go. Well, the short version is on my Facebook page, but if you want to watch the full video, it's on the YouTube channel. So
we'll check out the full version.
But it's good. You know, everything's good, and you know, I mean, it finally cooled off a little bit. It hasn't been as hot as it was last week. You know, there was one day right after it when it went from hot to cold. I almost felt like I needed to put a long sleeve shirt on that day because the temperature had changed so drastically. It like went from the mid to high 90s. That day it was in the 60s, and it was like, holy moly, I'm freezing today. Wow. Yeah. So, but you know, I think I've told you before, Pennsylvania is known also as Roxylvania. The first 2/3 of Pennsylvania, not too bad, but they have entered the rocks of Roxylvania. So definitely rocky. And we hope to be out of Pennsylvania by the end of the week. So we'll be into our next state, which is New Jersey.
Jersey. Oh boy.
Yeah, New Jersey, and then New York. So yep. We're over halfway, and now we're on the downhill slide into Maine. So we'll say it's not really a downhill slide, but some of the rougher areas are still yet to come. But a lot of people are complaining up in Vermont right now that I'm watching about the fact that the bugs are terrible up there. They said they're being eaten alive by the bugs. So I think I could deal with the heat more than I could being eaten up by bugs. And it's like I said, they tend to want to dive bomb your eyes and your ears. I don't know why, but that's the two locations they like to fly into, and really annoying when you're on the trail trying to hike. So,
Well,
but
it's good that you got your naked out of the way before you got there, then, or them bugs.
yes, sir. Yep,
Yeah.
definitely. And and I'm just glad that I don't have any extra medical equipment attached to me as well. So,
Amen to that.
you know,
Good.
that's not fun to have when you're out there, especially when you're not wearing much, you know.
I think they go
So,
after the ears and the eyes and the nose.
yes, sir. That's what they do. They like to fly into those orifices and drive you crazy. So, but yeah, a lot of
Did you
people. I have a
survive?
bug net that you can put over your head, and it'll kind of semi protect you from those areas. But they don't go there; they go other places. So, but
I'll make a. Hang on a minute. I got a recommendation for you.
oh,
I hope it's not a blow up doll.
yeah. Well, the one
With
nice
him,
thing
you
is
never know.
we did have a
That's what I'm
birthday
saying.
party on the trail yesterday. One of the young lady that's hiking in our group, it was her 40th birthday, so her sister flew from Texas to surprise her on the AT.
Oh, cool.
And so we had a little bit of a birthday party and had a lot of food, and everybody was all happy about that. So what's Rob got?
You ever use one of these?
What is that? A cool cloth?
I call it a head sock.
A head sock. Okay.
Yeah, it opens up. It's a tube.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I got it for fishermen. It protects your ears and the back of your head and your neck. But you just put it on like this right here.
Yeah.
It's not very stylish, but I put it on like that right there and put my hat on, and they stay out of my ears. They can't get in there.
Yep. I have one of those that has the AT logo on it, and I definitely do the same thing. That's what I need is a pair of sunglasses. Those little suckers like to bomb you in the eyes, and it can get pretty annoying. So,
but that keeps them out of your ears, and it keeps your ears from getting the back of your neck from getting sunburned.
Yeah. Well, you know, pretty much when you're in the green tunnel, you don't have the sunburn issue. I mean, I will say though that Pennsylvania was a lot of open fields, and that was part of the reason when I was on the antibiotic, I couldn't walk during the heat of the day because the antibiotic was tearing me up. But now that we're more north, the northern part of Pennsylvania, they're back into the woods, and of course within the woods you get the rocks. So, but we're looking forward to getting up into the New Jersey, New York, Connecticut area. It's kind of looking, you know, I mean, it's nice. We're less than 1,000 miles to Katahdin, so it's exciting.
Barry, that is not true. Taking my shoes off do not keep the gnats away from my face.
Well, I think what he's saying is that they'll just stay around your feet.
No, they don't. That is not true. I've tried it.
Yeah.
I've tried it.
Probably attracts more than anything.
I've tried to cut a hole in the back of my pants and through my skivvies to try to get them down there and keep them out of my face. It don't work.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, but it's all good. We're still moving, and like I said, I still can't carry a heavy pack, so I'm just hiking in the areas that I can hike, and keeping the tramway moving forward. So
Yeah.
some of the other hikers have learned that dog tag has a vehicle, so that if they run into certain areas that are too tough, I get the phone call, "Hey, dog tag, can you come pick us up?" And so I'm extending that love for the rest, not just my tramily, but other people on the trail as well. So just trying to help people wherever I can.
There you go.
How's the shoes holding up?
How's what?
Your shoes, how they holding up?
Shoes. Well, I'm still on my second pair, but I've got my third pair ready to go in as soon as they start to wear out. I think I've been fortunate in the fact that because I haven't been walking in the heavy rocky areas, my shoes haven't worn out. I know one of the guys we're walking with, Sour Patch, he's on his fourth pair of shoes. He's breaking in his, I'm sorry, your fourth or fifth?
I said just about.
Yeah, he says he's getting ready to start his fourth pair of shoes.
Wow.
So he's the one that's carrying my dog tags right now. So I think he might be blaming that new pair of shoes on my dog tags, the extra weight of having to carry my dog tags.
Hey, introduce him. We've heard about him. We've never seen Sour Patch. We need to see Sour
Say
Patch.
again?
Introduce him. We need to see him.
Let me take my earbuds out and I'll see if he's interested in getting on.
Yeah,
So hold on a second. They want to know if you want to be introduced. No, he says he wants to be secret, Mr. Secret. So
Well,
he's a shy guy. So
look here. He's carrying, you've got my dad on there too, so he's carrying my dad around with him.
yeah. Well, we definitely are carrying him, and he's got one of his own soldiers that he's carrying as well on the dog tag. And like I said, they're it's very appreciative of what he's doing, so that that they can continue their journey north. And we're on track for September 11th. So they've been hiking extra miles so that we can stay on the September 11th. Hope date that's what we're going to get to Katahdin on is September 11th. So right now we're on track to do that, and as long as we can continue to pull a few extra miles each day down here in this area, when we get up into New Hampshire, when we hit the whites, that's when it gets really rough, and our mileage may go down, but we'll see. It's pretty exciting to know that we've gotten this far. So,
Well, tell him I said thank you, and I appreciate it.
yeah.
I know you appreciate it, and everybody else does too. But we do appreciate him
Yes.
doing it.
Well, it's nice. I mean, since my departure of my gallbladder, it has allowed me to get caught up on my videos. I think I'm within 1 or 2 days of being caught up on my YouTube videos. I was trying to today work on a remake of the video for Jake's song, Carrying Their Names. So I'm hoping to get that out here in the next couple days. So and redo that video. So I'm sorry, I don't have my reading glasses on, so I can't read some of those comments.
Anthony wants to know, are you guys going to walk into upstate New York, where you guys are walking through into the Adirondack Mountain?
You know what? To be honest with you, I don't know technically what part of New York. I know we hike within sight of New York City, and there's an area where you can get a train ride into New York City. So we're not very far from the big city. So I don't think we're in what is considered upstate New York. So I think we hit more of the southern part of New York. So, and then we only have a very small section of Connecticut that we go through. And then of course we get into the infamous state of Massachusetts. And I mean, we've gotten over the worst state, which is Virginia. That's the one that, it's 500 plus miles, and, so it was pretty exciting it was nice when we left Virginia, but that's when I hit West Virginia and Maryland, and that's when my gallbladder went to crap. So, and as I said, unfortunately I can't, they didn't give it to me, so I can't dry it out and carry it with me. So So
Well, we've been having this discussion with Dave. They talk about how gross feet are and feet being gross. I can't
yeah.
imagine what he'd have thought of your gallbladder.
Oh, I think it would have been the coolest thing in the world if I could have gotten it and dried it out and carried it on the back of my pack. I think that, they may have had to rename me Gallbladder instead of Dog Tag, but I think that would have been funny. So,
That would have been awesome.
maybe I would have found a Gallbladder fairy to show up on the trail. Instead of the Tooth Fairy, you could get a Gallbladder fairy to show up. And,
Well, if
those
the tooth fairy leaves you a quarter for a tooth, what does the gallbladder fairy leave you?
Oh, well, I don't know what they're going to leave me. I'm sure my insurance is going to tell me there's going to be a nice big
So they're gonna leave you
bill
a
left for me. So, yeah, I'm going
Rob,
to get
you're
a nice
behind
big.
the times. Teeth ain't worth a quarter no more, honey. They worth a lot more.
Okay.
Oh,
What are they worth
yeah.
now?
Oh, depends on the tooth. First tooth is worth anywhere from $1 to $5.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think my kids were in the $5 to $10 range, So, but I don't have to worry about that anymore for the most part. So,
Yeah, you will when the grandbabies come along.
yeah. Well, you know what? I didn't tell you that I did find out here recently that I am a grandfather. I didn't know that either. So,
Oh,
Congratulations.
Congrats.
one of my knuckleheads has a girlfriend that the old protection wasn't in place. So, according to the rumors, I am a grandfather. And I said, man, that aged me 10 years just to hear that news. So, so I don't know. Maybe you guys know differently, but when you're, but
Listen,
you get
there ain't nothing like a grandbaby.
I don't
Dang
know.
right. It's
when you
awesome.
get back
I
home,
don't know.
when
Till
you
they get
see
to be
him,
teenagers.
when you see him, you pop him right in the back of the head. And when he looks around and says, "What's that for?" That's for making me a grandpa, Jack Leg.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was funny how we found out because my wife said that she saw my oldest daughter buying baby clothes on Amazon, and she thought that my oldest daughter was pregnant. And she goes, "No, I'm not buying them for me. I'm buying them for one of my brothers." And so that's how we learned. We didn't even get the news directly from the source.
Oh,
You know.
wow.
So yeah, he's being pretty shy about it. So, but yeah, I just went home Friday because it was my second oldest daughter's 21st birthday. So I drove home 5 hours to surprise her for her 21st birthday. So yeah, got there and got to party. I was going to tell you, you were talking about in-laws earlier, Dave. I had to tell one of my kids' boyfriend that it was the first time I had met him. And as I was leaving, he wanted to say goodbye and blah, blah, blah. And I said, hey, just to let you know, I am willing to wear orange for any one of my kids. And he looked at me and he says, what do you mean? I says, ask my kids what that means. And then he realized what I was saying. And he said, no, trust me, Mr. Diamond, I'll be very nice to your kids and blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, just know this dad's willing to wear orange for any of my kids. So, the old in-law thing, trust me, I know where you're coming from in that conversation. So.
Well, I'm just glad you didn't think he was calling you a Tennessee fan, or he didn't think you were a Tennessee fan.
Well, it kind of went over his head for a second, and then he finally realized what I was talking about, and I don't know. I think if all fathers were willing to do that and tell people, I think their kids would get treated a whole lot better,
Dang right.
But yeah. Well, I won't keep you guys. I know you have a lot of great conversations, and I know there's more to talk about Rob's visit to the comedy shop or comedy club. But the comedy, what?
The Comedy Barn.
Comedy bar.
The comedy barn. That's right. I'm sorry. The comedy barn. Well, but we'll check in again next week and let you know how things are going. We should probably be in New Jersey or New York somewhere. And like I say, we're continuing to move north. So, you know,
We'll give you a grade on your naked walk.
oh, okay. Well, you know, I'd gladly wear one of your shirts if you send it up my way. So,
I know,
you know,
we've got to do that. We've got to do that.
so, you know, I got to advertise the old Southern Fried.
Yeah.
So I was going to tell you, Dave, one of the guys that I met today, I didn't realize that there's a special, I don't know whether he called it a certification or he's an ordained AT preacher or priest, or I guess he's Baptist or whatever, but there's a group of guys that have gone through some special training to be preachers on the trail. And his trail name is called Father Time, but he says he's an ordained AT priest or preacher. I can't remember the term he used, but it's kind of a cool to talk with him and what they do and some of the things that they're going to try and do to help AT hikers, especially after they come off trail. So, but it made me think of you, Dave, that when he told me that he was an ordained AT preacher on the trail. So
Cool.
it's not like he gives sermons or anything on the trail, but you know, he's just a really nice guy. So, but he's from Massachusetts, so we're headed into his part of the world. So
Very nice.
yeah. So
Be
you
safe
know,
up
somebody's
there,
got to
Jake.
look out for us on the AT. You know, so
You said you're a 2X, right?
say again.
Did you say you're a 2X on shirt size?
Could be.
I was a 3 when I started, but I'm down to a 2X now, and probably you know, if I continue to lose weight, I might even be to a 1X or just an XL. But I prefer a little bit loose on my shirt. So, but yeah, love to advertise your show. So
We'll get something sent out your way.
Yeah.
But y'all take care, and
Hey, brother.
we need to start looking for those chaps though, so that we can make Miss Elizabeth day. So
That's right. That's right. It'll make, oh my goodness. See all three of us in leather chaps. Ooh, she'd be running from now on. Oh, she'd be walking around with a smile on her face for 3 weeks.
she's got a pretty big smile right now. You notice? She's probably just thinking about it.
Y'all
Yeah.
are crazy.
Well, like I said, you know, the things we do to bring a smile to a person's face. So gotta promote, gotta bring some attention to your show. So
Yeah.
That's right, Dave. Just how far are we willing to go? Chaps?
yeah. And see, we could be wearing them right now and they wouldn't even know that we had the chaps on.
I know it. I might
Yeah.
not even be wearing pants right now. They don't know.
Exactly. That's the advantage of doing a podcast from your own studio.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
I'm
Well.
definitely barefooted, Dave.
Well,
I
see,
understand.
my image of you cooking at home by yourself is this: that you are pantsless, sockless, and you're walking around cooking, scratching your butt, making food. That's my image. That's what I see.
Okay. Well, when you come here, you might get to see that in person.
No.
I'll wear
That's not how you cook the cornbread, is it?
the best cornbread in South Georgia.
I imagine it is. So,
Just don't eat any.
all right. Well, you all take care and you be safe. And like I said, I love checking in on the show and listening to the conversation. So
Thank you, brother.
y'all be safe and we'll talk soon.
You're
Talk
a
to you soon,
blessing.
bro.
Bye.
All right.
Safe out there.
Bye.
Bye now.
Old dog tag.
Yeah.
making his
Oh.
way.
So Dave, you were saying earlier that at family get-togethers sometimes you might have been the instigator.
I was at times.
Well, that was me too. So, imagine that.
So it sounds like all three of us have played that role.
I was
Well,
in my before I rededicated my life to Christ. I will admit I was the world's worst instigator at work, in family get-togethers. Friends. I did it.
even
did it.
after I gave my life to Christ, I still instigated.
I
We
won't say I
talking
didn't
about.
every once in a while, but I calmed it down.
Well, let me tell you one time what happened. So, all of us, all the girls, the sisters and everything, we would always get to my mother's house early on Thanksgiving and Christmas to help her finish cooking because we would always all go to my mother and daddy's on Thanksgiving Day and Christmas Day to eat and open gifts and everything. And no. And so, we always, wash our hands before we ever start doing anything. We probably wash our hands, all throughout the morning, probably 50, 60 times. And so, one of the last things we would do is cook the rolls. And I would always take the rolls, put them on the plate, set them on the table. So, my brother, he's just 5 years older than me. He come to the table because there wasn't room enough at the table for everybody to sit, so we had several tables set up. Some people would even eat in the living room. He said, "Sister, hand me a roll." So I just picked it up and started handing him a roll. He said, "I don't want that one. You touched it." So I said, Daddy said, "It's okay, honey. Here, hand it to me," because he didn't have a roll yet. So I just handed it to my daddy. Well, somebody called my brother's name. Mind you, my hands are still clean. It hadn't been that long since I washed them because I was putting the rolls on the plate. So my brother turned his head to talk to whoever. And when he turned his head, and mind you, my daddy is sitting at the head of the table and I'm sitting next to my daddy. My brother turned his head to talk to whoever, I went like this to the rolls. I touched every one of them on the top. My daddy just looked at me and he went and just kept eating. So I took my fork that I had not used yet and I stabbed one of those rolls and said, "Here you go, brother."
There you go.
Yeah. Anybody tell him about it after dinner?
Mm-mm. No,
That
no,
would have been yours for me. I'd have had to tell her. Yeah, I touched every darn one
no.
of them.
But now,
Wow.
we would say to him, but I said to him, I said, I'm the one that put all this on the plate, right? It don't matter. Okay. So yeah, I just went ahead and touched all of them while he was looking away.
Mm.
And then my other
Wow.
brother, he was a Democrat,
Yeah.
and we could get him going majorly. Majorly, we could get him going. He'd get fired up too. Oh, he would get so fired up, and we would just do it just to get him fired up. Oh,
Yep.
just to get him fired up.
My
We'd
stepdad gets
say,
so aggravated. He'd turn on MSNBC
mm-hmm.
and wouldn't even turn it off. He'd leave it cranked up about halfway up where everybody had to listen to it the whole time. I'd go by and I'd unplug it.
we sometimes we'd just say, "Who you voting for?" Because all the rest of us were Republicans, except for him. He was the only Democrat in the family, except for some of the nieces and nephews, but they wasn't old enough to vote. And we'd look at him and say, "Who you voting for this year?" That's all it took. That's all it took. Everybody else would be like, "Well, I think I'm gonna vote for so and so and so and so." Oh, me too, me too. Not him. Well, y'all are crazy. I'm voting.
You know, they try to control the remotes and stuff now, but I have been in doctor's offices and stuff where some loony Democrat would have the TV on CNN, and they would step up to do paperwork or something. And I've been that person, watched others do it, that would reach up and just turn it to a conservative news network, and they would have a fit when they saw it. Oh, they'd go ballistic.
Yeah.
Who turned that TV?
Yeah.
Well, I love
when we would start that.
And see it on CNN or MSNBC, change it over to Fox. Oh my gosh. The meltdowns are long and steady, continuous.
Well, when me or one of my sisters would conspire to get my brother started, my daddy would say, "You had to go there, didn't you? You just had to go there." I'm sorry, Daddy, but yeah, we did.
You should have said, "Well, I took after you."
I did.
I'm a daddy's girl.
Yes.
If you really want to have fun with them when it's at that point, and they come out, "Oh no, y'all are crazy," blah, 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 blah. That's when you look at them and go, "Yeah, but we know which bathroom to use."
He would say, "I do too."
I don't know.
No, now listen. He was highly against that. My brother was. He couldn't stand that. He would be like, "I don't know what's gotten into them, allowing these people to use men to use women's bathroom." He said they've gone off the deep end. That's not my party. That's what he would say.
Yeah, it is what he's voting for.
Well, he's gone.
I'd have thrown gas right on that fire. Throw gas right on it.
Well, I can't now. He's gone. Bless him.
But I have also, in addition to being an instigator, I've also been a unifier. And I had a couple of guys that I knew that were bitterly had a bitter argument and fell out, a friendship. I sent them both a Christmas card from each other one year. Putting in there, I even put a message like, "I'm sorry we let this get out of hand. You know, I care about you. You know, I'm sorry. You know." Send them both that from each other, and then wait for them to say, "You know who I got a Christmas card from the other day?" I couldn't believe it. I've done it.
Did they call each other?
They didn't call each other, but I think one of them might have sent a note. You know, they did the issue they argued about, but basically said, you know, "Thanks for the card. Have a good Christmas," or whatever, you know. But I've done that.
I've done the exact opposite.
Why does that not surprise me?
Exactly. I'm not surprised. Good gosh.
What?
Okay, what did you do? Tell somebody they sucked from one of your friends?
Yeah, basically.
I'm not going to see Shane.
I sent them a very nasty, ugly card.
Yeah, I can't show
Two of them. And it said, "From an admirer," and just let it go. Hey. Well, it's about time for us to talk about your daughter again there, Miss Elizabeth. Come on, let's talk about her.
She's right here. You want to talk to her?
Well, yeah, we can talk to her, but we need you to repeat that other stuff you've been saying about her on here.
What stuff?
You know, all the good, juicy stuff you've been telling us all about.
About the
farm? She'd kill me if she knew I was talking about her on here like this.
What about the good stuff? Rob? I will come to South Georgia and I will stomp a mud hole in you.
And
I
I'm
don't
here
ever
for that.
I don't ever say anything ugly about my daughter. I always say good things about my daughter.
Could you make it around the 19th? Because I'd sure
I
like to
will.
see that.
I will.
She doesn't say nothing bad about you, kiddo.
It's okay. It's probably true.
What'd she say?
He said it's okay. It's probably true.
Oh, you
Oh,
tell
by
her
the
to go ahead
way-
and say hi.
By the way, Miss
He
Elizabeth,
said,
you're
"Come
going
over
to
here and
love
say hi."
next week's topic. You're going to love it.
What?
It's why is the male ego so fragile?
Uh,
Uh,
I can tell you right now, but I'll
It's
wait
not
till
next week,
next week.
that's right. She gonna get on here and say hi?
No, she's busy.
She ain't got time for us. You tell her to take 2 seconds, step over here in front of her and go hi.
my granddaughter
She said,
don't
"Oh,
do it
sweet
either.
baby Jesus."
Kaylee
That's
was in here
right.
earlier. I said,
Wait,
"Get on
baby
screen."
Jesus, get over.
If I come over there, will you say hi? Okay.
You going over there? Oh my God! You gonna make your mama get up? My goodness! Gonna make your mama get up?
Hi.
Go all the way over. Hi.
It's not.
It's not what?
It's not on killer.
She said it's not gonna kill me.
Oh my goodness! It might. She's still recovering from all them bike wrecks.
Back Rex.
Well, I'm pregnant. She should know better. I came back from getting engaged with a black eye.
She said I came back from getting engaged with a black eye because she wrecked on a bike.
Oh, now see, that's awesome, Michael. We would do stuff like putting Democrat bumper stickers on other one's cars at Thanksgiving. Yeah, that's love right there.
Funny.
I do know some people. I won't say who. That it wasn't me. That put the football sticker of a team they hated on their car.
Yeah,
it was the kind you could peel right off, but they rode around with that for a little bit. They didn't realize it was on their bumper. They were like an Alabama fan. They put a Tennessee sticker on their bumper. And somebody finally said, "What are you doing with that Tennessee sticker on your bumper?" Boy, did they get mad.
I put a bumper sticker on my cousin's car one time. Said, "If you're going to ride my butt, at least pull my hair." It wouldn't be so bad if it had been a squad car.
You did not. You liar.
We need some new stickers that you can put on gas pumps that say something like, "ICE is watching you." ICE monitors this gas pump.
Oh, dude, gas pumps, hey, that can go up anywhere. You know, ICE monitoring station. You know, and just stick them around. Man, put them at Walmart. Walmart would be pissed. They'll lose half their business.
Along with the googly eyes.
Do what?
Along with the googly eyes on all the food.
We probably need to get a hat up that says the Southern Fried Ice Enforcement Team or something.
Oh, that would be good.
I think I'll work on that tomorrow.
I want one. When you get it, I want one.
Oh,
We need something that says ICE on the back. And they're like, "I see everyone." And just put it out there.
Ice, ice, baby.
The fake
Oh.
inner city rapper.
Dude, man, you can start putting them on El Caminos and cut the illegal migrant population in this country down to like nothing. You put it on El
You know what?
Camino.
He might have been, but since then he has done a lot of good for um, a lot of people. He has his own construction business, I think in Florida,
Who?
and
Vanilla Ice.
Vanilla Ice guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, that's cool. He got his
Yeah.
15 minutes of fame. He doing something out of it. That's cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then he helps people with his
Actually, if people all these years later remember that song, that's effective.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Remember, it's not whether you like it or hate it. If they still remember you all those years later, that's effective marketing right there.
Yeah,
All I remember is the Jim Carrey version.
I don't even know that one.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah, watch it. It is hilarious. Jim Carrey.
Oh, you know, Rob's bouncing around the trailer with his underwear on, singing that song. You know he is.
Dude, what makes you think I got underwear on? Ice, baby.
That's just sickening.
I thought it was pretty bad to be doing it in underwear, but you're going to accuse me of doing that, you know. If I was going to do it, it wouldn't be with underwear on.
Is that Chuck I hear?
No. No.
Is that your chair that needs oiling?
No, it's not me. Chuck's laying right over there asleep. That's not me.
Oh.
No. Nope. There might be something in Dave's or in your place. I don't know.
Mm-mm. I'm sitting in here.
Might be Sarah in there squeaking.
No, he's in the kitchen.
Okay. So what is the meanest thing that you've done to somebody at the holidays that you regretted? Or told them that you felt bad about?
Me and my father-in-law slipped a guy in the family some moonshine because we just couldn't stand hearing him because he was a braggart. And well, we were all in on it, but me and my father-in-law actually went and got it. And he went to sleep. He got smashed, went to sleep while all the women were in the kitchen talking. Within about an hour, he was wiped out. His wife, and we weren't sorry for it, though. That's the only thing. We weren't sorry for it. And his wife come in there and said, he must be tired. He's been working a lot here lately. Yeah, he needs his rest. He was drunk. But we sure didn't tell him. We didn't tell him nothing about that.
What about you there, Miss Elizabeth?
I don't know if I've ever really done anything that I've felt bad about on a holiday.
Yeah, you got to rephrase that question. Things you've done, you don't necessarily feel bad about. She touched all them rolls. She wasn't sorry about that.
No, I
That's
wasn't.
true.
I'd already touched them all.
Apparently, Rob's got something. He's father confession here. I mean, he's done something.
Well, the last year that Mama's last Christmas, my uncle is like my youngest uncle. He's always like my big brother, and we have always kind of taking turns getting each other at Christmas time. Like one year when his daughters were like 8 and 9. I got them Nerf guns with the darts, not the little ones, the big ones that had like 20 darts each, and I got them extra darts. And I brought I brought 4 rolls of quarters and gave them a quarter for each headshot. But to be fair, I got him a little single shot to shoot back. And oh, they tore him up. That didn't feel
That's fun.
really good. But the last year Mama was alive, I got him a unicorn onesie pajamas. It was all rainbow colored with the rainbow horn. And so he's opening it, and everybody knew what I had done except for him. And he's opening it, trying to be real careful because he saw who it was from, and he's being real careful. And his daughter snatched the lid off of it and had it yanked out so he had to show it to everybody. And I told him, I said, the horn lights up. And they were like, no! And they run over to it, lit the horn up. My mom and my Aunt Vonda were over just cackling. Aunt Vonda turned around when she first saw it. She went, oh my God. It was great. Thoroughly enjoyed that. But I kind of feel bad about it because, there's consequences for everything. And
What
he
do you
hasn't.
do next year?
I think he got me a comb. He said, here's something that you can't part with. I can't part with it because I don't have no hair.
Yeah.
There's
That's
always
fine.
consequences. Yeah. I've still got it in there. I used it to comb my goatee up. Howdy, fellers, Coors Light connoisseur. Well, you got here. How come you keep getting here about this time?
Who is
That's
it?
about time for us to get out the Coors Light connoisseur. This guy right
Oh,
Well, he's got that towed. He's got towed in vehicles, man.
That's true. What was that, Frog Lake Towing Company? But so do you get your dogs Christmas presents?
me?
Yeah.
I have before, but I hadn't in quite some time.
What about you, Dave?
Kelly does.
What is
I may
the
get 'em a
appropriate
special
thing to get
treat.
a dog or a cat for Christmas?
I just get them a
About
special
anything.
treat.
Toys,
dog
treats,
toys.
bedding, clothes. They got everything, man.
Mm-hmm.
Gift cards.
Well, I know they used to have this thing for cats called a cat jewel. Have y'all seen that?
A what?
Let me see if I can find it.
What are we looking for?
It was made to hang over their tail.
Whose tail?
The cats.
I thought you was talking about Pelosi or somebody.
No.
I mean, that's a lot of tail.
I'm looking for it.
What's it called again?
Teletubby?
I thought he said a
Teletubby?
cat mule. What is it called again?
I don't know what it's called, but I got a picture of it.
Oh,
It's kind of scary. It's got a chain thing that goes over their tail.
Are
Wow.
you wanting someone to buy you one of those? Is that why you're showing us?
No, I'm thinking about getting one of them for Chuck.
why? Why would you put that on a cat,
I don't know. I didn't come up with this.
dude? What about when
I-
it goes to poop? Is it
Exactly.
not going to get dirty?
That's disgusting.
Oh, wait. Maybe this is why this became such a thing. I don't know that it became such a thing, but maybe this is where it came from. I don't know. Look, it's got some guy's portrait.
Oh, that's gross.
Uh, I don't know. I didn't come up with this thing.
My thoughts is a no. Mm-mm.
They call it the twinkle butt.
No, that's gross. Because what about when they go poo?
I don't.
It's gonna get nasty.
Absolutely,
Then
absolutely.
you
I
gotta
agree.
clean it.
I'm not saying. So I'm not getting one for Chuck.
Okay, that's a
No.
wise choice.
I think that might be trendy among certain people groups in the world.
Yeah, the people act like cats. They're stupid anyway.
That glow you see coming from their pants, as you're walking behind them.
You know, we've already talked about this. I have a solution.
Take them and get them spayed and neutered.
Yes.
I agree. I tried this once before we got Chuck all fixed up. And yeah. Well, here's just a little feller.
Rob, something is wrong with you tonight.
Just say it. Just say it. Somebody came up with this, and why, and how,
Because they're
and,
sick in
and
the head.
huh?
They're sick in the head.
Oh, Chuck is over here snoring right now. If you knew what I was in here doing and showing pictures of, he would not be snoring.
It's okay. My dog snores. Y'all
Oh,
heard it. Y'all have heard it plenty of time.
oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, I am so glad that we got everybody in here tonight. Yeah, Coors Light was on a toe busy day on his part. Cats like catnip toys, like catnip fish. Yeah, mine does too. And we do the night bite thing every night or every evening. So
I think you and Chuck go through the house of them little things you just showed on. Y'all just kind of match up. That's what I think.
they don't make one of them big enough to go around, I tell you.
It didn't go around the hotel.
Yeah, it goes around the whole tail.
It goes around your waist. It's for you.
I don't need no little hangy thing to go around my waist.
If you and Chuck are going bad, you do.
I like, we ain't never gonna match their Chuck.
I can see y'all matching it with your clothes.
No,
I'd like to see the video of them dancing. Be Abba dancing queen or something. I don't.
tiny dancer, dude. Tiny dancer. Hold me closer, Tony Danza.
Maybe Bob Seger the strut.
Two old cats like us.
Panga's gonna get jealous.
Everything's cool with two old cats like us.
Panga's gonna get jealous. She wants a pink one and a crayon.
Oh, don't go there. He'll have to have him a crown.
Makes you think I don't already have one.
He may have one with a wand.
with a big pink star right on the end of it. Lights up.
They fired up the karaoke machine.
George Skippy. Hold me close, tiny dancer. I don't know what I got in there.
That's not fair though, because you won't let Chuck in the bedroom.
Darn Skippy, I'm not letting
He's
him in there.
locked out.
My
He's kicked
toy,
out.
not his toys. His toys are out in the living room. I don't go out in the living room and play with his toys. No, sir. I go in my bedroom and I play with my toys. Huh. Oh, Lord. I think I just felt our follower count drop. Sorry, guys. I don't talk like this very often. Yes, Barry, I have seen the flopping fish toys. They scared the snot out of Chuck. That thing started flopping. I put it out there. It's like, the one I had? It was if they touched it, it would start. And he touched that thing and it flopped, and he would never look at it again. He was done.
I can't blame him.
He said, he jumped. He kept his eye on that thing. He didn't take his eye off that thing forever. I'd take it and hide it. It scared the crap out of him. He was like, I think the worst thing I did to him was I got one of those little laser dot things, and I had him just going after, just chasing that dot. And back then I kept this door in here closed down this little hallway. And he was just barreling after it. He got up full speed, and there was a crack about this wide under the door. And I just run that dot right up under that door and turned it off. And he said, he couldn't stop. I didn't know he wasn't going to be.
That was mean, Rob. That was mean.
I thought he'd be able to stop. I didn't realize he was so clutchy. But I didn't think about it being linoleum there, and he just slipped. He put the brake.
Wow.
If people come back as animals, you're going to come back as a cat one time.
I ain't going to go. If somebody looks like me,
You will too.
You stay the hell away from everybody.
You will. You just wait.
Stay away from
You
everybody.
You're going to come back as to an owner like yourself.
I already know what I'm gonna come back as, and it ain't gonna be no cat.
What?
A jackass.
You already
Now,
know
anybody
what
want to
you
argue that?
What would you say? Besides just coming back as a jackass?
Anybody want to argue that point?
No, I said you live in the dream.
Nope.
I think he's going to wake up one day and it's the planet of the cats, and he's going to be the slave. The cats will have a collar on him and his little glowing dot.
Dude, cats already think that. You know, you feed a dog, you clean up after a dog, you take care of a dog, he loves you or she loves you, and you are their master. You know, you clean up after a cat and you feed a cat and you take care of a cat, and they think you're their slave. That is the difference between a cat and a dog.
They're like there in the morning swatting you. Get
Yeah,
up. I need
get
to
up.
eat. Get up.
Yeah, it's time for me to. That's why I keep the door closed, because I know he would be right there walking over my face. Get up, or sitting right on my face, or whatever.
Trying
You
to
know.
suffocate you.
Yeah. I used to have one that I did way back when I'd let him in the bedroom. I woke up one morning and his butt was like right in my face. And I'm like, what the heck? And the lady whose cat it actually was like, he just likes to feel your breath on his butt. I'm like, no, he doesn't. There's the cookster.
What's up,
I bet
Cook?
you too.
Love you, buddy. Cook's a big cat guy too. He likes his cats.
I like mine too.
Well, fellas,
Yeah, it's about 10:15.
it's time to say goodnight.
It is. Well, both of y'all have just a great night and a great day tomorrow. And
Thank you.
Dave, you got anything else tonight?
Nope, I'm done.
Miss Elizabeth?
No,
You mean I started talking about cat jewelry and now you're done?
I'm done. I'm done on that one.
That was a thing, y'all. I'm telling you, it was a thing. All right.
I'm done on that one.
Everybody, we'll give y'all a great big salute out there. Y'all have a great day tomorrow. And we'll see y'all soon. Thank y'all for
All
watching. Mama Said right here on the Southern Fried Podcast.
See y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Mama said there would be days like this when Dave and Rob start to show. There is bound to be some good times had by those who remember what Mama said. Mama said